In a quiet town where the sea could be heard more clearly than the people, there stood an old wooden house on the hill. The paint had long peeled from its walls, and the windows bore the breath of years. No one truly lived there, but a light always burned in the window facing the west. Not bright, but steady, like the last ember of a campfire never willing to die. They said an old woman named Elira had once lived there. Some remembered her as a healer, others as a widow who never spoke again after her husband disappeared at sea. But none remembered her leaving. The door was always locked, yet the lamp, always lit at dusk, always extinguished by dawn. Children used to tell stories about it. Some said the house was haunted by angels. Some whispered it was where prayers went when they felt unheard. Most people walked by it quietly, as if not to disturb something sacred. Until a boy came. His name was Jonah. He was 17, and silence had become his only language. His mother had passed 2 winters ago, and his father, still alive in body, but lost in grief, no longer looked at him with knowing eyes. Jonah spent his days walking the cliffside, tracing the sky with questions he never dared speak. One rainy evening, with nowhere else to go and nothing left in his pockets but soaked hope, Jonah stood before the old house. The lamp in the window flickered for the first time. Something pulled him, not the wind, not the cold, but a longing that came from somewhere deeper than loneliness. He stepped onto the porch, expecting the wood to groan or the wind to push him back. But the house remained still. The door was shut, yet the lamp flickered again, not out of weakness, but like a signal. He knocked once, then again. Nothing. But as he turned to leave, the door slowly opened. Not wide, just enough to let him know, you're not alone. Inside, the air smelled like old lavender and rain. The furniture was draped in linen, the fireplace empty. But the warmth came not from wood or flame, but from presence. A presence that was not seen, but felt, like a prayer answered in silence. "Hello," he said, almost whispering to the empty room. A chair rocked gently in the corner. He stepped in, hesitant. There was no fear, only unfamiliar comfort. On the table lay a single piece of bread and a folded cloth. Jonah sat. He didn't know why he spoke aloud. Perhaps to the house, perhaps to something higher. "I don't know if you hear me," he said, "but I've got no map, no place left to go. I'm tired of trying to be strong. I'm tired of pretending the silence isn't heavy." The lamp in the window flared once like a heartbeat. "I miss her," he added. "I miss being seen." There was no reply, no voice, no vision. But in the quiet, Jonah felt the weight of the world loosen, like someone was helping him carry it. He didn't sleep that night, just sat in the chair and watched the lamp until dawn. When morning came, the door opened again, this time inward. A breeze entered, carrying the scent of the sea and something else, peace. Jonah stood, placed the cloth back on the table and whispered, "Thank you." As he walked out, he noticed something he hadn't before. On the wooden wall near the door, carved faintly, were words nearly worn by time. "When you knock, I open. When you weep, I hold. I never left, God." Jonah returned to the house the next day, and the next. He never saw who lit the lamp, but every time he came, the chair was warm, and the silence kinder. He began bringing others, friends who had lost, strangers with no place to go. He never explained, just opened the door and let them sit with the silence that healed him. Years later, Jonah became the keeper of the house. He never moved in. He never claimed it as his. But each dusk he climbed the hill, lit the lamp in the window, and whispered the same words Elira once did long ago. "For those searching in the dark, there is still light." And when people asked what the house was, Jonah would only say, "It's where the lost remember they are loved."